went through. I wake up every night, in the middle of the night, every night. And in the darkness, I imagine her terror.
He used her flower pots. Just let that sink in for a second. The person who took Nancy Guthrie, who planned this for months, who studied her neighborhood, who knew exactly which cameras to avoid, walked around to her back patio, looked at the beautiful flower pots that an 84-year-old woman had spent time nurturing, and used them to prop open her back doors. What's up, everyone? Day 59, 2 months, and this morning we got the most chilling physical detail this case has produced since the doorbell footage. So I'm breaking down everything that just dropped today, the flower pot revelation, what it tells us about a potential second person inside that house, Savannah's bombshell about the ransom notes, and something a former FBI agent said this week that I think everyone is sleeping on. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's what Ashley Banfield revealed this morning on Drop Dead Serious, and she's citing a law enforcement source directly, so this is verified. There are 2 doors on the back of Nancy's house, a screen door and an inside door. Both lead into the kitchen, and both of those doors were left open the morning Nancy disappeared. Now here's the part that floored me. The suspect used Nancy's own flower pots to prop them open. Her flower pots, the ones she tended, the ones on her back patio. He grabbed them and used them to wedge those doors open. And it wasn't just the doors. He also propped open the back gate with her flower pots. Now I want you to think about what that means practically. Why would you prop open doors and a gate? You prop them open when you need to move something through them quickly, when you can't have your hands free, when you need a clear path in or out that doesn't require you to stop and open anything. That's an exit route. That's someone who planned to carry something or someone out through the back of that house without stopping. And now connect that to what investigators confirmed this week. The security gate on Nancy's front door is nearly impossible to break through from the outside. That's why some law enforcement officials now believe there was a second person already inside Nancy Guthrie's home when the masked person was seen on the doorbell camera. A second person already inside before the suspect we've all been watching on that doorbell footage even knocked. Think about how that changes everything. The figure on the doorbell camera, the one we've been analyzing for 2 months, may not have been breaking in. They may have been completing a handoff. Someone let them in through the back, or someone was already inside waiting, and those propped open flower pot doors were the prearranged exit plan. So I need to talk about what Savannah said in her interview this week, because I don't think people fully processed it.
I wake up every night, in the middle of the night. Every night.
She sat down with Hoda, her first TV interview since her mom disappeared, and she said something that I wrote down because I wanted to get it exactly right. I believe the 2 notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real. Savannah Guthrie, on record, saying she believes the first 2 ransom notes were from the actual kidnappers. Now why does that matter? Because there have been questions for weeks about whether the notes were authentic. One was sent to TMZ, one to local news stations. They demanded $6 million in Bitcoin. The FBI never confirmed them as legitimate, and the deadline passed without payment. But here's what I think is the most important part of this whole ransom note situation, and this came from Megyn Kelly and former FBI agents this week. Kelly quoted reporting that the second ransom note may have been more of an apology, that the kidnappers were saying Nancy had passed away and had gone to be with God. Kelly was clear this is all speculation, but the family's response, "Return our mother to us so we can celebrate with her." That language, a celebration, not a reunion, that phrasing has been sitting with me since I read it. And a former FBI agent said something that I think explains why the family never paid. Without proof of life, do not pay these people. It will never end. And if they can't provide proof of life, then we could very well be dealing with the wrong people. No proof of life was ever publicly confirmed, the money was never paid, and the notes stopped. Here's an update that I think got buried under everything else this week, but it's actually really important. The FBI secured video from the Uber ride Nancy took on the evening of January 31st, hours before she disappeared. The driver handed over all footage from inside the car, and investigators found nothing notable. Nothing about her demeanor, nothing she said, nothing unusual at all. And I think that matters in a specific way. It means Nancy had no idea what was coming. She wasn't scared, she wasn't anxious, she was just going home after dinner with her family. A normal evening, a normal goodbye. And then, sometime in the next few hours, everything changed.
Meanwhile, investigators are looking closely at that front security gate, the one that's nearly impossible to break through from the outside. Which is why the second person already inside theory is gaining serious traction among law enforcement sources. Someone got inside that house without triggering the doorbell camera, without forcing the front gate, which means either they had a key or they knew another way in, or they came in through the back before the cameras were even active that night. Savannah confirmed she's returning to the Today Show on April 6th. She told Hoda, "It's hard to imagine doing it because it's such a place of joy and lightness, but I can't not come back because it's my family. I think it's part of my purpose right now." And here's something a former FBI agent said about the timing of Savannah's interview that I think is the most underreported take of this entire week. Former FBI Special Agent Harry Trombitis told Yahoo that the timing was probably not coincidental. He said, "I really believe that that's most likely coordinated between the sheriff's office, the FBI, and the Guthrie family." His read on the goals of the interview: humanize Nancy as a person, persuade the suspects to do the right thing, and keep the case in the public eye. So Savannah's interview wasn't just grief, it was strategy. The FBI helped shape it. The goal was to reach whoever has Nancy, or whoever knows where she is, and appeal to whatever humanity they have left. And April 6th, Savannah back on national TV in front of millions of viewers, that's another round of that strategy. Keep Nancy's face in front of the country. Keep the pressure on whoever's sitting on this secret. The family posted on Instagram this week, "We miss our mom with every breath, and we cannot be in peace until she is home. We cannot grieve, we can only ache and wonder." We cannot grieve, we can only ache and wonder. I read that 3 times because that one line tells you everything about what this family is living through every single day. You know what hit me hardest about the flower pot detail? It's so personal. Most of the evidence in this case is technical: DNA, cell towers, ring cameras, Wi-Fi jammers. It's forensic and digital and abstract. But flower pots, that's Nancy's life. That's her Saturday mornings watering her plants. That's the thing she chose to make her back patio beautiful. And whoever did this, they didn't just invade her home. They touched the things she loved. They used the small, beautiful things she created to execute the worst night of her life. I've covered a lot of cases, and that detail, more than almost anything else, tells me this person was in that backyard. They walked around it. They knew exactly what was there. This was not a stranger who stumbled onto that property that night for the first time.